Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you here. I hope a few more will join us in a minute for our final, for the moment, final lullaby workshop. And because of it's the final one, I wanted to cram in three and actually cover the whole variety of lullabies. It goes from art songs by Brahms and Schubert, and we have a Northumbrian one, which I'm not that familiar with. I had to learn in a few days. It was recommended, and I really, really like it. And I thought it would be lovely to sing that together here. And I've also got an Eskimo one, because we've been doing lullabies from all over the place, and I thought this one is very sweet, and so I'm going to try and cover all three. And next week we're going to do our mini recital, so that means the three lullabies will be there. And last week's, which has completely gone out of my head now, Claire, what was it last week, what we did?
Oh gosh, I forgot. It's been quite a week. Last week seems a long time ago.
If anyone can remember, please let us know. Anyway, something.
We moved on. Clearly.
It's all been completely non-stop. Anyway, next week will be this mini recital. After that, we start our last cycle of three workshops with a Sephardic, a medieval, and then our final recital for that, before we do our 6-week carol workshop that Claire mentioned, that has to be a paid one. And there is some, oh yes, Morenica. Okay, we did Morenica, yes. Of course, how could I forget? So anyway, that's such a lovely one, yes. So anyway, when we do the 6 weeks carols one, we will do some that are on our CD, and we're open to suggestions as well. And we will do also some variety, showing again the things from all over the world, some well-known ones that we don't really need to teach properly, like Silent Night, but and some more difficult ones. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. So for today then, the first one is the Schubert that I'd like to do. So I thought this morning, I did once a workshop with pregnant women, and they were all Germans at that time. And they said to me, when I mentioned we were going to sing lullabies together, they said, we don't like the German lullabies. So what they had in mind was what they felt that they were too much in the direction of art songs. So they probably thought of the Brahms and the Schubert, and they didn't feel it was right for the babies. So that may also be because they heard opera singers do versions of these, I think. Then you kind of feel that's too far removed from what the lullaby is about. But I still feel Schubert, being the master of simplicity, actually did a good job with this one. It's utterly simple. It has the lullaby vibe, and it still can be done with a classical voice. It can be done with a normal voice. It's a beautiful thing. So shouldn't talk too much. Let's go straight into verse 1. Schlafe, schlafe, holder, süßer Knabe. Sleep, sleep, sweet and wonderful boy. Leise, wiegt dich, deiner Mutter Hand. Your mother's hand is rocking you softly. Sanfte Ruhe, a word I love in German, Ruhe. So that's a gentle, I don't even know one can translate it properly as stillness, silence, and tranquility. That's all in this word, Ruhe. Milde, Labe is something that's mild and comforting, like, something that's, is comforting. And bringt, dich, schwebend, dieses Wiegenband. This lullaby, it's like almost, band is ribbon, so this ribbon of lullaby is sort of floating towards you. So maybe most of you are familiar with the melody, so I think we could just go through it together. I'm sure I don't have to teach each line. Let's do it slowly and see how we go. Okay, so, and 2. Schlafe, schlafe, holder süßer Knabe, leise wiegt dich, deiner Mutter Hand. Maybe let's do that just one more time. And schlafe, schlafe, holder süßer Knabe, leise wiegt dich, deiner Mutter Hand. Now the B section is sanfte Ruhe, milde Labe. Let's do the B section again. Sanfte Ruhe. Wait. Sanfte Ruhe, milde Labe, bringt dir schwebend dieses Wiegenband. Great. So that's simple enough. It's a beautiful song. I'm sure you agree. Let's do, because we have 3 songs today, let's only do now what I've sent in lyrics as verse 3. Schlafe, schlafe, in der Flaumen Schoße, which means sort of the, that is, the Flaumen is referring to a down feather duvet. So, so sleep in the surrounded by the feathers of your duvet. Noch umtönt dich, lauter Liebeston. You can hear the sound of love. That is the lullaby. Liebeston. So that's a lovely word. Eine Lilie, eine Rose, a lily and a rose, when you wake up, will be given to you as a reward. So our first CD was about the lily and the rose. We could have included this one, Claire, but there's always, since we've recorded this CD, I come across so many songs with lily and rose in it that I think, gosh, we should have done this one. We should have done that one. And anyway, here we go. Verse 2, 1 and 2. Schlafe, schlafe, in der Flaumen Schoße, noch umtönt dich lauter Liebeston. Eine Lilie, eine Rose, nach dem Schlafe wird sie dir zum Lohn. Right. So I hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to move on now. This one we will go over again next week before we do our mini recital. We'll go through it again. If there are any questions, let us know in the chat. If any word isn't clear, some pronunciation, always let us know and I will mention it. Okay, so our second one is an Eskimo one that I think is very sweet. And so some missionary who worked among Eskimos collected this song and did his own free interpretation of the verses. So we do the English words are his interpretation of that. So I think this one is very sweet. and I used it with the pregnant German women. The women, they were happy with that. They felt that that was better for babies. So the first line is, still now and hear my singing, sleep through the night, my darling. Let's do that again. And still now and hear my singing, sleep through the night, my darling. We have a tiny daughter. Thanks be to God who sent her. So that's all very, very simple. And that's how many really beautiful lullabies are. So this wouldn't take very long to learn. Let's do that whole verse again and then go straight into verse 2. And still now and sleep my singing, sleep through the night, my darling. We have a tiny daughter. Thanks be to God who sent her. Though she as yet knows nothing, she is so sweet, I'm singing. We have a tiny daughter. Thanks be to God who sent her. Right, we will do it at the end again. I want to do all three later again. So that brings us to the Northumbrian one, which I'm curious to know. I'm going to put gallery view on now. How many of you know this one? Can you, yeah, Yvonne knows it. Okay, Helen, not that many. Oh, okay. So that's exciting then, because I didn't know it. And I thought, gosh, this is so nice, so beautiful. So thank you, Yvonne, for introducing that to all of us. Now, here is the same happening as with the troubadour songs. Some of you may have come on Wednesday and we talked about it, how you know, it wasn't written down at the time and it got transmitted and changed and improvised on. Same here, really. When I looked at the song and looked at scores, listened to versions, I realized that there's quite a variety here. It starts with the first note, so people don't agree on that already. So the score that I sent, I don't know how many of you are looking at that, does some things where I'm changing to how I've heard it, which I prefer. So when you look at the score, don't think, oh, why is this different? It is because some people do it like this, some do it like that. And in the end, we have to make a decision what we prefer. So I will do it first very simply. It is quite tricky in some bits. So when I said the first note is already, there's a disagreement. Some versions go, the sheep sheep's in the meadows. And in your score, you see written a fourth as the first interval, and it goes, the sheep's in the meadows. So I think let's do the fifth here, but you can do whatever you like, and I also hope you will feel very free with it. And if you listen to different versions, the best ones are the ones where they don't really stick to this score and sing the notes as if it was a Schubert song, but actually just really treat it as a folk song. But for now, for simplicity's sake, this is our first phrase. The sheep's in the meadows. And then it is, the kye's in the corn. Let's do that again. The sheep's in the meadows, the kye's in the corn. And then, thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. So that line you see also written straight in the score, but I'm doing what is natural with the word. Bonny is like that. So I prefer to sing Bonny at Morn, and I've heard versions where it's like that. Okay, so let's do that second verse, second line. Thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. That gets repeated, but with a different ending. So let's do that. The sheep. With a different ending, which will be, the sheep's in the meadows, the kye's in the corn, thou overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. So there is also, I'm singing a different note here to the score. You would have to change the D you see on Bonny into a C. So it would go, thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. So, hang on. Yeah, let's do from the beginning. The sheep's in the meadows, the kye's in the corn, thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. The sheep's in the meadows, the kye's in the corn, thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. So now the B section is, Kenny et nicht, Bonny at Morn, thou overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. Let's do the B section, Kenny at neat. Kenny at neat, Bonny at Morn, thou's overlying in thy bed, Bonny at Morn. So it's lovely, isn't it? I hope Yvonne approves. I'm doing it a bit slower than it will be in the end. Let's look at the second verse, the birds in the nest. Yeah, there we are, the birds in the nest, the trouts in the burn, thou hinderst thy mother at many a turn. So we can speed it up slightly now. And the birds in the nest and the trout in the burn, thou hinderst thy mother at many a turn. So you can see what I'm doing, the same many as Bonny before. So let's do the repeat of that, which has the different ending. The birds in the nest, the trout in the burn, thou hinderst thy mother at many a turn. Right, so then, I didn't do the repeat, did I? I did the first. Sorry. So let's do the whole verse now, to not confuse things. From the beginning, which means we do twice these words that you see there in the chat. And the second time we have a different ending. So let's start at the beginning of that. And the birds in the nest, the trout in the burn, thou hinderst thy mother at many a turn. The birds in the nest, the trout in the burn, thou hinderst thy mother at many a turn. Knabe at need, Bonny at morn, at many a turn. Right. So, verse 3, Steph, verse 3, let's have verse 3. Good. We, so there is a weird, we're all late idle, we keep in the ban. The lad we not work, and the lass we not land. Now, I'm not going to start teaching this dialect here. So let's just go with the way it's written. And whoever is, if there's anyone from Northumbria, they will probably laugh now. So let's try that from the beginning of that third verse and then doing it again, the text with a different ending. I will do it also a tone higher, but because of the octave, can yet need, I thought I can't do too high because it will, on top of being with a bad dialect, if we start singing, can it need, it might sound too ridiculous. So anyway, verse 3. We're all laid idle, we're keeping the ban. The lad will not work, and the lass will not land. We're all laid idle, we're keeping the ban. The lad will not work, and the lass will not land. Can yet need, Bonny at morn, not work, and the lass will not learn. So I know that this will be very low for some of you. I want to do it higher now. So let's do it in C, which means it gets us can it need. So I think that should be fine. Let's do just one verse. Let's do the first verse in this key. And the sheep in the meadows, the kites in the corn, thou overlying in thy thy bed, Bonny at morn. The sheep's in the meadows, the kye's in the corn. Thou overlang in thy bed, Bonny at morn. Canny at need, Bonny at morn. Thou's overlang in thy bed, Bonny at morn. That feels probably better for a lot of you. Yeah, Claire? Claire would like it even higher, I bet. So, we will do one verse of this in a minute. I just want to, because we've done 3, let's just do all of them again. So let's do start with the Schubert. Yeah, let's do one verse of each. So first verse of Schubert, then one verse of Eskimo, and the first verse of the Northumbrian one. So 1 and 2. Schlafe, schlafe, holder süßer Knabe, leise, wiegt dich, deiner Mutter Hand, sanfte Ruhe, milde, Labe, bringt, dich, schwebend, dieses Wiegenband. Okay, and this one is still the first note, and still now and hear my singing, sleep through the night, my singing. We have a tiny daughter. Thanks be to God who sent her. Good. And right. So now let's do it in C. Let's do this Northumbrian one in the higher key. One, two. The sheep's in the meadow, the kye's in the corn. Thou overlang in thy bed, Bonny at morn. The sheep's in the meadow, the kye's in the corn. Thou's overlang in thy bed, Bonny at morn. Canny at need, Bonny at morn. Thou's overlang in thy bed, Bonny at morn. Great. And that bit, because it gets repeated, for me, it shows it's made for singing in a group or with a choir, where actually the second time it's all with harmonies. And if you listen to it there are some beautiful versions where people sing it in harmony. And I think that's when it really comes to shine, this song. But anyway, it's been absolutely lovely sharing these songs with you. I hope you like them all. And I hope we can do in the new year some more lullabies. And anyway, even during our carol 6 weeks, we will have Sometimes it overlaps. Lullabies to do with Christmas, and really quite a few of them, including a Catalan one that I sing on the CD, which I want to teach here as well. Is also very much in the style of lullaby. And so anyway, before I go, next week I've said at 11 we do our sing through. Also, the Troubadour show, in case you've missed it on Wednesday, is available for a whole week. And the question and answer session, which I think was very interesting, which I couldn't attend, unfortunately, but is very, very interesting because the director especially and Claire have a lot to say about it. So do go. That one is also available. Yes, Steph is sending the link. So that's really interesting also to listen to. And next week we have the film of our concert in Hove that we did, which we were just saying beforehand. It was perfect timing. We wouldn't really want to do it this coming weekend with people getting very worried now, and maybe by the week after it will already all be shut down. So we were very lucky to be able to do that very special concert. I felt it was a very special atmosphere there. Maybe people being very aware that we can't take anything for granted now. If we can share a moment like that, it's wonderful, and it may already be kind of on hold for a while. So that will be on Wednesday at 8. We will do our usual 7:15 workshop where I would like to teach you a song by Wolkenstein, which I sing in the concert. It's very, very nice, also very special, very different to anything else. It's from the Minnesinger tradition in Germany in the Middle Ages, which is akin to the troubadour. So it has something very similar, and yet it's also quite different. So I hope you can join me for that, 7:15 on Wednesday. And Claire, I'm sure I forgot something.
Only just to say that's pretty much everything on my list, except to say that just kind of what's happening over the next few weeks. So we are going to carry on next week, sing along. Then after that, we'll be doing 2 more sessions, which will be medieval and what's the other one? Sephardic.
Yes.
Medieval and Sephardic. And then there will be a sing along of those on the 6th of November. And then from the 13th, which we realise is Friday the 13th of November, so hopefully that's not auspicious, or inauspicious more correctly, we will start the 6 weeks of the carols, which, as Ariane said, it includes some that are kind of lullaby-like and some beautiful ones. So actually, there will be quite a sense of continuation. And carols are a big part, we always do a big Christmas tour every December. We hope, if things are possible, we might do some performances, but we can't really make any decisions on that for reasons you'll understand. We're going to have to see how that goes, but we hope we might be able to do one in London, maybe one in Hove because they were ready to have us back, maybe in Hastings if we can, but we just don't know at this stage whether that's going to be possible. But what we do know is possible is we will be able to carry on doing stuff on Friday mornings, as long as you are happy to pay a little bit. So what we were thinking is that it would be £5 a session, or if you sign up to all 6 in advance, then it would be £25, so you get them for free. So hopefully, and that's kind of in line with what people seem to be happy to pay when we did the consultation. So I hope that's going to be okay for everybody. And do let us know what you think about that. If there's any problem with that, we'd love to know what you think. But that seems to be kind of driven by what you said would be possible. So I hope that will be good. And it will kind of be a trial to Christmas to see what interest there is. So that's kind of the plan. We're going to have a planning meeting early next week to work out which of the songs we would like to do, which perhaps link in with our CD and songs that we already have up there. But we would really like to hear from you too. So if there's a particular carol you'd like us to do, we may be inundated, so we might not be able to promise to do all of them, but we will certainly try. So let us know if there's anything that you particularly like us to consider, and we will have a look at it as part of that. But we'll certainly say at early next week we should be in a position to be able to then tell you at least one carol we'll do each week. So does that all make sense? Hopefully. It will make sense, I think. Great. Meanwhile, have a great week. And are we going to sing?
Yes, I think we ought to belt out the the kann ich nicht. Shall we do that? Okay. And kann ich
nicht Bonny At Morn
Wonderful, and almost together. It really is kind of a gift now that it doesn't sound like an awful like it did in the first few times we tried this. It actually sounds wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep singing. See you 7:15 on Wednesday and here next Friday as well, usual time.
Okay.
Bye.